Hey sirs, how's it going? It's Brad Whelan, also known as jimmyj57, and today was the new Xbox reveal, which is called the Xbox One. Now, I was actually watching this live while I was in class at school, because I didn't want to miss it. So, today I was just going to give you a bit of info on some key things that I saw, and just my thoughts on what we saw at this Xbox live stream reveal. So, let's get started. So, behind you to start off, you are seeing the actual console itself. Now, unlike the PS4 conference, they actually showed the complete set of hardware, and we actually got to take a look at the console first, which you're seeing right here. Now, one thing I thought right away when I saw this console is that it looks a lot like the cable box under my TV in my house. And I was kind of like, it kind of looks too boxy, but it still looks professional, has a nice shine on it, and they spent a lot of time on the TV features in the presentation. So like being able to switch between your gaming and your TV and your music, all using this Xbox One, and they have a whole bunch of TV services like sports, ESPN, that kind of stuff, and then your usual Netflix and all those kind of services. So it's understandable that it looks almost like a cable box, because it pretty much is now. And another great thing I noticed about this actual console itself is that it has a lot of fans and vent areas. So that means that they probably fixed the overheating problem with the old Xbox, and now they have just no red ring of death problems because they have fans everywhere, so they shouldn't have any heating problems, unlike the Xbox 360. Now, with the console, they went on talking about specs, and as we all know, the PS4 and the Xbox One are literally going to have the exact same specs, so it wasn't that big of a deal because the PS4 conference, they already went over their specs. And when they were explaining the specs, for some reason they put a lot of emphasis on how many transistors the new Xbox had, and I think the numbers were like 50,000 transistors in the old Xbox and 5 billion or 5 million, I can't even remember, 5 billion I think it was, in this new Xbox One. Now, I thought this was kind of strange, because honestly, how many of you guys even know what a transistor is? Like, it's a big number, and it seems cool, but most of you were probably thinking watching this, what the hell's a transistor? Like, who really cares? But for you guys that are curious, a transistor in computers and other electronics basically just controls the switching of the electric current, which creates the ones and zeros that allows the computer to communicate. So, not that big of a deal, but for some reason they like to put a lot of emphasis on that just because it's a big number, I guess. But they went over the specs and they showed us, they're 8 gigs of RAM, and they got all these whatever core processors with this design, graphics cards, that kind of stuff. So if you guys really want to know about that, you can just look it up. I'm not going to go into details on that. So let's move on to the controller. Now, the new controller, there was really no big improvements that I saw, like the new DualShock 4 that the PS4 came with, like that they showed at that conference. This controller looks about the same. They just had minor tweaks. They said they changed up the triggers a little bit. On the front, they actually have 2 new buttons. I don't think they explained really what those did very much, but it's pretty much the exact same layout. The analog sticks are changed a little bit, the D-pads changed a little bit, the buttons are the exact same, and they just basically made it a bit sharper looking, more eye-pleasing, nothing major, just kind of changed up the look of it a bit. The feel is probably the exact same, but one major thing that they did do, finally, is actually put built-in batteries so you guys can recharge your controllers instead of having to buy new batteries all the time, because I remember always going to my friend's house with their Xbox controllers and always having to like switch batteries, or I'll just take it out and shake it here and put it back in and it'll work again. Like, they die too much, so I'm glad they're moving like in PS3 direction with their rechargeable controllers there, so that's good. Now, one of the coolest pieces of hardware that they showed us is the camera that comes with this Xbox One. Now, this is going to be used for Skyping, Kinect games, and they were also showing off some cool gesture recognition abilities that this camera had. Now, they showed a bit of how it can multitask as you use your gestures, and you can make the screen smaller and bigger with your hand and pull up stuff on the side so you can check your messages or Skype while you're watching a movie, that kind of stuff, which is really cool, but I wasn't exactly sure if I would actually use this in my everyday life. Like, I don't really want to do anything else when I'm watching a movie. Like, I don't need to do anything else while I'm watching a movie, so it's kind of cool, but also kind of unpractical, if that's the word. I'm thinking unpractical, because it really, I don't know how much I'm going to actually use this if I would get this Xbox One, so I don't exactly know. But for a nice touch, they actually had a 1080p full HD camera, which is pretty nice for making Skype calls. That's a great camera resolution. That's the highest consumers can get pretty much now. So 1080p, that's great quality for Skyping, and the Kinect abilities, it'll be able to see you and track you better. And they went on about the Kinect, and they showed how it can examine depth and more joint movements, just like of the turning of your wrists now and that kind of stuff. So it'll have better sensor capabilities when tracking your movements while playing Kinect games. So that is great to always improve on that. Even though I've only played Kinect like twice and it was okay, but it was just kind of weird. You felt kind of stupid just like doing your whatever in front of the thing, and you don't have a controller or anything. You're just acting like a monkey in front of the TV. But it is kind of cool to see that they're improving on that and where technology's taking us now, that the camera can actually sense that, which is kind of crazy. So let's move on to the games. Now, the first game I'm going to talk about is Call of Duty Ghosts, because that is the game I was most looking forward to, and I'm pretty sure you guys want to hear about that game the most. So they showed us this trailer behind me here of Call of Duty Ghosts, along with some behind the scenes kind of stuff, and also a bit of the Activision CEO talking about the game. But they showed off the new graphics engine here in this trailer, and if you look at it, that is just a stunning picture for video games. It is like so crisp and clear, and just like every little detail of the people's faces and stuff, if you get a close look at them, it just looks really, really sharp. Now, they put a lot of work into the textures. They showed off some texture pictures of just like people's skin in the game and their faces. Like, you can see every little hair. It is that clear. And they also showed us that they're working on new dogs for the game. They just like showed us how they're simulating that, and that they're giving everything a more lifelike look and giving them more natural movement. So your dog doesn't look like, when you're using dogs in Call of Duty, Black Ops 2 or any other Call of Duty, they look like they're humping the air when they're running. I think they're going to change that now to more natural movements. So they're probably getting real dogs in there, and they're like putting the special tracking suits on them and, you know, measuring their movements and that kind of stuff to make it more realistic and make it more enjoyable to play, so you don't have the retarded glitching dogs. Now, more will be released at E3 for Call of Duty Ghosts in a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. Now, the next game I saw that was kind of weird, and I didn't really get the trailer at first, and that game is Quantum Break. Now, it starts off really weird. It's like this mom asking her daughter, I presume it's her daughter, why she is so different, and the daughter's like, do you really want to know? And the mom obviously wants to know. So then the daughter just like reaches over and touches her ear, and then all of a sudden it like goes into the different world, whatever, and that's not a real video anymore. It's like graphically animated. And then all of a sudden you see this giant shockwave, and it hits the ship, and the ship just crashes right through this bridge, and it breaks everything on the bridge, and all I see is brief glimpses of dead people and like people getting shot. And then that's the end of the trailer, and that just says Quantum Break. Now, I'm not sure if this daughter's special ability is to see the future, which I'm guessing because she just like touches her, and I've seen way too many TV shows that she just like touches the mom and, oh look, they can see what you're seeing too. I don't know how exactly this is supposed to work, but I'm guessing she's seeing the future, and there's going to be some massive explosion or earthquake or natural disaster. I'm guessing it's probably a war game, so it's probably like some nuclear bomb or some crazy new type of bomb that explodes and just everything's being destroyed, and it's like another world war and people are getting shot and that kind of stuff. So didn't give away too much, but that's also good because it's giving us a lot of mystery, and people are going to be wondering about this game now. So whenever we see it at hopefully E3, we'll find out a little bit more. And that's just a cool game that they showed us off some new graphics for that one too, because the graphics look great when that boat crashed through the bridge and the cars, just everything breaking. It looked really, really good. Now, the final game I thought was awesome was the new Forza Motorsport 5. Now, this game right away had amazing graphics. It was like the first one they showed just to show off the capabilities of this new Xbox One. And just right away from the start, just the weather and the buildings and the people, right down to the reflection off of the cars that they showed, was just amazing resolution and graphics that these games are going to be running on. So like these Xbox One is going to be able to support amazing graphics engines, as we've seen from all these trailers of games. And because it's a new Forza, everyone knew it was racing already, so the trailer didn't have to really give away anything. It just showed off some awesome graphics and showed us what the system can actually do. Now, the final thing that is not a game or hardware aspect that they showed us at the conference was that there's going to be a new Halo TV series made by Steven Spielberg. Now, at first when they were talking about Halo, I was like, alright, cool, another Halo, that's cool. And then they said TV series, and I was like, oh, alright. And then I wasn't exactly sure. Like, I think it's cool when they make video games into movies, like Resident Evil, for example. Like, that's a cool idea to do that. But when they make TV shows, I don't know, I was kind of thinking like, like, I think players would want to play the game more and actually be able to decide their own fate instead of watching someone make the decisions of what the characters are going to do and that kind of stuff. But it is cool to see your favorite characters, like, alive and real and talking and being able to interact with other characters in the game instead of just the set layout of the game and the campaign that you play and that kind of stuff. So with Steven Spielberg directing this, I think it will be kind of cool because he's a great director. I love all his movies. So I think he'll turn into something pretty cool. But I was a bit iffy at first when they said TV series for Halo, so it was a little weird. But there is one more thing I forgot to talk about quickly here, and I forgot to mention that there's going to be Microsoft Glass now. This was previously integrated into the Xbox 360, already had this, but they are further integrating it, and now you can just control more stuff on your Xbox One from other devices like your phone or your laptop. So that is all my thoughts for today, sirs. If you guys watched this far in the video, you are now my favorite, and I love you more than everybody else. No homo, of course. But thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe below. And remember, sirs, have a damn good day.